Hello, class, and welcome to our presentation, Introduction to Christianity. So first, a disclaimer. That is, Christianity is a global religious tradition comprised of numerous different denominations of diverse beliefs and practices. Hence, as an introductory religious studies course as this one, it is impossible for us to engage in a comprehensive study of the Christian religion while representing all expressions of Christian belief and practice because it's just way too diverse. So because this is an introductory class, in our study of Christianity, we will focus primarily upon the foundational Christian teachings in the New Testament, some common Christian practices, and a few examples of Christian theology. So with this in mind, what is Christianity? Well, a general definition of Christianity is that it is a religion originating in first century Judea whose followers believe that Jesus of Nazareth is the Christ, or the Anointed One. And for Christians, the term Christ means two things. One, that Jesus is the Messiah, discussed in the books of the prophets. And two, that Jesus is the Son of God, generally interpreted as a being of supernatural or divine origin. So let's delve into these concepts a little bit more. What is a Messiah, and what do we mean by the Son of God? Well, the term Messiah literally means anointed one, and it refers to a salvific figure specially chosen by God, whether it be a king or a prophet, because kings or prophets are those who were anointed according to the Hebrew scriptures. And according to the prophet Isaiah, the Messiah would be a Prince of Peace, or a monarch that would restore Israel and bring about a universal age of peace. And two, a suffering servant, or a sacrificial offering to atone for the sins of humanity. Now, generally speaking, Christians acknowledge that Jesus of Nazareth fulfilled the messianic prophecies of prophets like Isaiah, being both a heavenly monarch and a sacrificial offering for the atonement of the sins of humanity. And additionally, most Christians acknowledge that Jesus is the Son of God. And the Son of God is a theological concept that refers to the second personality of what is called the triune God. That is, generally speaking, Christians believe in a triune God, also known as the Holy Trinity. And the Holy Trinity can be defined as a theological concept that there exists one God, comprised of three manifestations or substances: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And according to mainstream Christian theology, Jesus of Nazareth is an earthly incarnation of the personality of the Son within the triune God. Hence, for most Christians, Jesus of Nazareth is not a mere human prophet, but is rather a figure of divine origin who is worthy of worship or divine honor. So put simply, the majority of mainstream Christians believe that Jesus of Nazareth is a salvific figure or Messiah of divine origin, or the Son of God. So now that we have a basic understanding of what Christianity is, let's just do a brief review of Christian sacred texts. So there are two major sacred texts within the Christian tradition: the Old Testament and the New Testament. And the Old Testament refers to the Hebrew scriptures that we talked about in the Judaism unit: the Torah, or the first 5 books, the Nevi'im, or the books of the prophets, and the Ketuvim, or the wisdom literature. And the New Testament refers to the early Christian scriptures that were composed after the death of Jesus of Nazareth. And the New Testament is comprised of 4 sections: the Gospels, which are the accounts of the life and teachings of Christ; the Acts of the Apostles, which chronicle early missionary work of the early church; the Epistles, which are apostolic letters written to early church communities, especially by St. Paul of Tarsus; and the book of Revelation, which is a prophetic vision of the end times. Now, within the early Christian movement, there are three major figures to be aware of. Jesus of Nazareth, of course, who's considered the founder of Christianity. Simon Peter, who will later be known as Saint Peter, who is believed by Roman Catholics to be the first pope or the first bishop of Rome. And Paul of Tarsus, who will become known as Saint Paul, who is probably the most influential of the apostles or messengers of the early Christian movement. And of course, given that Jesus of Nazareth is the founder of Christianity, we must spend some time learning more about his life, which we will tackle in the next lecture.